regret trusting Vince so much after he continuously betrayed you? Why did you ride for him so hard?
Do I regret trusting Vince? Oh man. It's hard not to feel just a little smidgen of, maybe you shouldn't have trusted him so much. But ultimately that's who I am. That's my personality. I'm gonna ride hard for my people, and if they mess up, I've said it before. There's a human element to this game. None of us are perfect, so it was hard for me not to forgive him in those human moments. It is going to be hard to go back and watch and see if a lot of those moments were not genuine. So that may be hard to watch, but I wouldn't change who I am. But yeah, I rode so hard for him because it felt to me like a sibling relationship of sorts. I felt like a big brother to him, even though he's a little bit older than me. Um, but yeah, we had a moment one time where he's like, "Oh man, I look up to you. You're the guy that I would root for if I was watching the show, this and that," and that meant a lot to me. And that could have been part of his gameplay. And shame on me for falling for it for the 47th time.
What do you pinpoint as the biggest mistake in your game?
What do I pinpoint as the biggest mistake in my game? Ooh, let's see. The obvious one would be, obviously trusting too much, which I knew coming in was a could be potentially be exploited. But let's dig a little deeper. I would say that my biggest weakness maybe was. Hmm, hopefully they can edit this down because I want to think about this. I want to give a good answer that isn't just like, oh, trusting people too much. The obvious answer is, excuse me, trusting people too much. But digging a little deeper, I would say that, in there, information is currency. And Rachel always told me, oh, you're so hard to work with because you tell everybody everything. And, even if I wouldn't use people's names directly when finding things out, I could have definitely held some of the information that I had, held my cards closer to my chest instead of just being so quick to, find out if this is true or that is true. I always treated every bit of information that I got with like a sense of urgency, like, oh, I needed to find out if this was true, and I knew that playing while I was playing, I'd always be like, hey, it's the beginning of the week. Take your time, find out if this is true, through natural means, and if it becomes more urgent to find this out, maybe take it to the next level in terms of just asking them outright. But I never did that. I never listened to my intuition there. I always just like found something out, asked the person right away, and it got me in trouble quite a few times. So, if I get the opportunity to play the game again, I'm definitely gonna do things a little bit differently in that regard. In both regards, actually. Yeah, maybe not trust so many people either.
You had a final two with Rachel, even though you did try to get Vince to backdoor her. Did you plan on keeping your final two with Rachel? Any regrets there?
Yeah, that's yeah, the my final two with Rachel. We're frenemies for a reason. We're friends in one moment and enemies in the next. So, in that particular moment in the game, that was right after Rachel's HOH, and Riley was one of my stronger allies at that point, and she knew that. I did tell her that, and when we made that final two, we had agreed to kind of like consult with each other, for big moves, and she felt as if she did, because she told me that she wanted to make a big move. And when I said like, okay, on who, and I literally said everybody's name that was still in the game. I said Riley's last, and I was like, Rachel, please don't do that. He's one of my stronger allies, and she did it anyway. So at that particular moment, I took that as a betrayal, and that she didn't really care about my game. So I was like, you know what? If that's how it's gonna be, let's try and do this. And we tried. Obviously, Vince never did anything about it, nor did I really think he ever would. But Yeah, we were able to mend that pretty quickly afterwards, as you guys saw. And I found out that Rachel has a killer lasagna. That's nice to know. I'm definitely gonna get a recipe after this. But yeah, I definitely was gonna stay true to that final two.
Who do you think is playing the best game right now, and who has the most to prove if they want to win the game?
Who is playing the best game right now? I believe Morgan is playing the best game right now. She has a good, she had a great journey there. She relied on her social game tremendously for the first half, and then turned on her competitiveness and showing her competitive prowess and getting hot at the right time. Winning 3 vetoes in a row is no small feat. Um, and then she won a HOH to take Lauren out, who was a strong competitor, and then won another veto to take me out. So I believe she's playing the best game so far. But the person that has the most to prove, I believe, is Vince, because he's going to have to justify a lot of his moves and a lot of his backstabbing to me personally in order to gain my vote at the end there.
Would you ever want to play Big Brother again?
Would I ever want to play again? Absolutely. I don't know if my conversations with Rachel, where I said I personally would love to be the first 2-time champion. That's not a cocky statement or anything like that. That's just I'm new to the game, but the fact that that's never been done before is something that I personally would just love to accomplish. You got to swing for the fences. So I would love to play again, and obviously, if I want to be the first 2-time winner rather. I need to be a one-time winner first, which means I would need to play at least one more time. And if I want to be the first 2-time winner, I need to play at least 2 more times. So I would love to play this game at the very minimum 2 more times.